So, uh, today I have with me Rebecca Bynum. Rebecca Bynum has an excellent book out there. It's been out a while, and Amazon decided to discontinue her book on Amazon. Robert Spencer put it this way on PJ Media this week: the freedom of speech is on the ropes, and it just received another body blow. Over at Amazon, you can still get Friedrich Nietzsche's God is Dead, God Remains Dead, and We Have Killed Him. You can still get Richard Dawkins' The God Delusion. You can get Christianity Disproved, the conclusive proofs that Christianity is false. You can get God Needs to Go, Why Christians' Beliefs Fail. You can get All the Wrong with the Bible, Contradictions, Absurdities, and more. You can get 4 disturbing questions with one simple answer, breaking the spell of Christian belief, and on and on and on. But you can't get Allah is Dead, Why Islam is Not a Religion, by the New English Reviews editor, Rebecca Bynum.
Oh, no, they
wow.
pulled it completely. I thought it was just going to be the Kindle version, but they pulled the entire book. Fortunately, though, it's still available in other outlets, but Amazon just took it down with no explanation, really, just that it violated their terms of something or other. But they've been selling it for 10 years. It's a 10-year-old book. So it is, I don't really quite understand it. And it seems to be just to be on the title alone, because I've used that argument in other things, and it's in my other book, but it was the title, I believe, that they objected to. Well, Allah is Dead.
Well, I think the biggest fear they have, besides Allah being dead, I mean, well, the question is, was he ever alive on top of that? But
Yes.
I think they fear something that you and I agree to, and I know Robert Spencer doesn't, but you and I tend to believe that Islam is not a religion, but a political animal or entity. Would you care to talk a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. I characterize it as the duck-billed platypus of belief systems, because Islam doesn't just contain a belief system, it also contains a judicial system, a political system, a social system, a complete system of life, they call it. Issues of war and peace, everything is decided in Islam. And so when you start talking about what should be considered a religion under the First Amendment, you have to look at all these other aspects of Islam that couldn't possibly be thought of as a religion when the First Amendment was written.
It's so true. I mean, the truth is that there really wasn't any Muslims here to speak of until the 1870s, and then very far and few between. You can go do some research. People can go do research who want to question that. I've done my research. It's kind of shocking when you start looking at the numbers. I'm amazed. This that they would carry Friedrich Nietzsche's God is Dead at the same time claiming that your book violates something.
Yeah, violates their terms and conditions. Right, and that's one part of the argument as to why Islam is not a religion. Another part of my argument is that if you imagine that here is a 2 lines, and one is spirit and one is matter, and they cross. Okay. In all religions, most all religions except for Islam, the test for morality is, do we elevate the spiritual value over material considerations? And that all religions contain this, that goodness is more important than material reality, that truth is more important, that beauty is more important, that morality is contained in this idea that we elevate the spiritual, and the spiritual and the material are 2 distinct realms. Now, where they cross is where nihilism is. Now that is Nietzsche. That is where spirit and matter are just one thing. There is really no spirit. It's the material world is all there is. The universe is indifferent to us. We're evolved hydrogen, as Elon Musk said the other day. We're really nothing more than flesh and blood robots, in other words. There's no mind, there's no nothing, it's just material world is all there is. Now beyond that, where matter and spirit are inverted, is where Islam lies. In Islam, the material adherence to the doctrine, to the rules of Islam, are more important than considerations of truth or goodness. And this is a complete inversion of their morality, which makes Islam entirely unique among religious belief systems. If you were to analyze it as far as goodness and truth, you would say that Islam is an untrue, false, evil religion. So do you want that to be covered by the First Amendment? I say no. Thirdly, you have to take into consideration how Islam acts in the world. Mostly with religion, the way the secular society deals with religion is we give it a pride of place. We give it great consideration because it does so much for society. Religion gives meaning to life. It creates social harmony, brotherhood, feelings of charity and goodwill among men. This does not exist in Islam. In Islam, there is a distinction between Muslims and non-Muslims, and Muslims are superior to non-Muslims, and Muslims then must have pride of place in everything. So this is a completely different religious understanding than what the framers had in mind when they put together the First Amendment. And that's my argument.
Even in their own religion, even as members of their own faith, one of the problems that is faced is that I've written about in my last book is the concept of hatred, that they must hate even members of their own faith, should they not be a good enough Muslim, and they would call for the death of anybody who leaves. Now, I think what you're saying is extremely important, because you're talking about the law, that we were talking about the law earlier. It's not only laws for Muslims, it's laws for non-Muslims. It's not only
Right.
superiority, as you're saying, it is a superiority only for the people who consider themselves the best Muslims, and that group only, basically. They can,
Yes.
Historically, one of the things that I've discovered doing research was that even going through India, there have been many great writers who were there during England's rule over them, and they've actually discussed how jihad was declared. Well, when one Muslim group would call the other Muslim group non-Muslim, and they would have a hijra, and the hijra would go to that one side that had called the other ones non-Muslim, and then they would have a jihad.
Right.
And
That's how Islam has spread traditionally,
Yeah.
one jihad at a time.
And
And
this is, I can't, do you have any thoughts as to why you think Amazon would decide to not carry a book they've been carrying for 10 years?
Oh, I think they're all trying to outdo each other as far as being politically correct and canceling those who don't toe the line. And so that, this is the reality that we live with now. And so we just, I guess, have to find ways around it. There'll eventually be conservative only publishers, conservative only Twitter, conservative only everything and liberal only everything. And at that point, I don't know if we're going to have a country. We have to talk to each other. We have to discuss these things and be reasonable. You can't say that. That's not the American culture I know. This used to be a free country.
I'm amazed. Yes, you're right. It's the lack of discussion, the lack of, I guess what bothers me the most is the lack of desire to seek truth, because that, I think, is what's the other part of this. It's one thing to hide truth. It's another thing to have no desire to find it. And that's a little
Well,
scary.
yes, and philosophically, this has been a problem coming on for quite a while, because it's almost as though there is no the left or a great portion of them have decided that there really isn't a truth. There is no real objective out there truth. It's all an inner subjective, my truth, your truth, our truth. And so then it just becomes competing narratives. And you just do what you have to get your narrative across the finish line. Whether it's untrue or not doesn't matter. It's your narrative. The ends are justified. The ends justify the means, and truth goes by the wayside is right off the bat. Yeah.
Some things are amazing. Yeah, when they're going to promote God is dead, Nietzsche, and they're going to promote that narrative. Yeah, it's one thing.
Well, with God goes truth, goes goodness. I mean, morality. When you throw God out, you've thrown out the basis of our civilization, the absolute basis. And it's not a matter of whether the country will stand. The country certainly won't, but the civilization won't stand either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in a battle. We're in the battle for the sake of the country, but I don't think I think your points are exact on point, but I don't think many people understand that this country can't survive without its Christian base. It can't survive without that. I think you had said to me before that life is in the. I mean, this is, or maybe it's somebody else. Life is in our rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These things are, if you do without these things, I mean, Christianity is it's indelibly throughout the Declaration of Independence. If you read the Constitution, it's throughout there. There's no denying this. And
yes. And I think some of the framers, I'm not sure who, said that it really wouldn't work in a non-Christian country, because you have to, for liberty, for there to be liberty, there has to be a morality that people are self-constrained, so that everything isn't laws.
Yes.
That you have a level of just self-restraint that allows civil society to function. Otherwise, if everybody's crazy and running around and upset all the time, and if I say something you don't like and you want to kill me over it, civil society is gone.
Oh, well,
Speaking of
Rebecca,
Texas.
thank you for spending the time with me. I'm going to do everything I can to promote this book. In the meantime, I've recommended Sophie's. That's where I'm trying to get my book out. That's now being sold for $700 some odd on Amazon. Not
Oh,
like
my
they're
goodness.
trying to stop me or anything by putting this inflated price out. But I want to again thank you. Please don't stop what you're doing. Please keep promoting New English Review. I know I am. Your work is incredibly important. Please continue.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate it, Paul, and God bless you.
God bless. Thank you.